Hey, what's up, y'all? Prince Elias here, and it's early in the morning, but I'm about to go into work, and this is the only time I could make this video. Um, Basically, yesterday morning, they dropped A Quiet Place 2, Part 2 teaser trailer. Now, let me cut this down. Sorry. This is a perfect example of what a teaser trailer is supposed to be. It was like 30 seconds long, maybe less than that, maybe 25 seconds, but literally it was a teaser. Like, it didn't give away plot synopsis. It had no dialogue, of course, because it's a quiet place. Not going to be much dialogue, because if you talk, the monsters are coming. But it basically shows Emily Blunt's character and her kids, because they were the only survivors of the movie, spoiler alert, and they are walking, look like they're walking into a town outside of where they were staying in the first film. And they get to the end of a trail, and you see a bunch of leaves, and they look at each other, and of course the daughter has the machine, the little noise thing that they found out at the end of the first film, spoiler alert, that the monsters are affected by the sound of her hearing aid. So they had that machine, the little radio thing, and her hearing aid ready to go, just in case the monsters show up. They're able to dismantle the monsters with the noise, because they just cannot stand there. And of course, the brother had a gun cocked. The mom looked like two people had a gun cocked. Somebody was holding the baby, and two people had guns. And they were like looking at each other. And the mom's like, "Okay, we about to do it. Just be ready, be vigilant." Without saying it, they were looking at each other in the eyes, and basically like, "You ready? You ready?" And so the mom, you see her put her foot down on the hard leaves, which means, it's going to make a noise and attract the monsters, and then it completely went blank. That was it. That was it. You saw them walking, you saw them turn and look at each other, and you saw the mom put her foot down on the leaves. And that's what a teaser trailer is supposed to be, people. Hollywood they always make, "Oh, this is the teaser. This is the teaser." And then they give you the full-blown trailer. Like, you're not teasing anything. You're showing us what the movie's going to be. But I'm super excited. Moral of the story, I'm super excited because A Quiet Place is my favorite horror film of the entire decade. It was my favorite horror film when it came out. What was it, last year or year before last? I believe it was last year, 2018. I rep for A Quiet Place, and when Bird Box came out, everybody was repping for that. I was like, "Yeah, A Quiet Place did it better." Bird Box was okay. It was entertaining, but A Quiet Place did it better when it comes to taking away one of your senses. It was more suspenseful. A Quiet Place was so good, and it's so terrifying that nobody made a sound in the theater. People were scared to eat their popcorn. Like, that's how effective it was. And I always say, when it comes to horror films that deals with the senses, whether you lose your sight, your hearing, you can't talk, something's being one of the senses is being taken away from you as a crutch, and it ends up being like a strength in the film. By the end of the film, A Quiet Place did it better than everybody across the board. And I like that horror film. Dang, it's the one where the kids were trapped in the house with the old man, and the old man was blind, but he could fuck you up even though he was blind. I forgot the title of that film, but you know what I'm talking about. It came out a couple of years ago. That was also one of my favorite films dealing with taking away the senses. That was very good and suspenseful, but I feel like A Quiet Place oversees that film as well. And so I'm super excited. When they first announced that they were doing a sequel, I was like, hell yeah, I want more. I love this family. I love the characters. I hate that the dad died, RIP, spoiler alert. But I was like, I love this film. This film is amazing. I want more. Even though if they never came out with a sequel, the first film was great on its own. It was the way it ended and everything. It was great on its own, where it was open-ended. You don't know whether they're going to survive or not. It could be a happy ending, it could be a dreadful ending. It didn't matter how you interpreted the film. But I'm happy that the family's back. I'm happy that they're doing it again. Only this time they're leaving their secluded home or area and going out, venture out elsewhere to see if they could catch more of these monsters and kill them, because they finally found their weakness. And I'm super excited. But when they announced it, we really didn't hear much after that, like all year, we didn't hear shit about A Quiet Place, whether they've started shooting, whether the script was written already. And I was getting nervous because we didn't have a release date. They just said come in 2020, but we did not have an effective release date. Now we do with this teaser trailer. It's coming out March. So this isn't going to be one of those films where they promise us and then it gets put on the back burner or it doesn't happen at all. Like, they've already filmed it. It's ready to go. So I'm looking forward to seeing it in March. I can't wait to review it. I really think it's going to be a good sequel. Some people, and rightfully so, some people when Hollywood makes sequels, they dread it. But over the past couple of years, sequels have been doing great. Like, nobody asked for Toy Story 4, but they gave it to us anyway, and it was great. It was just as great as the first three. A lot of people asked for Frozen 2, but me personally, I was good with just the first one. But I was happy with the results of Frozen 2. I feel like it's a great sequel. It didn't have this sequelitis. This is more divisive opinion, but I personally feel like It Chapter 2 was a great sequel to It Chapter 1. We can argue and debate that. Some people would disagree and say that I'm an idiot, but hey, we all have different tastes in art. We all have different tastes in movies. I feel like it was just as good. It was a great follow-up. And when it comes to Stephen King's writing and books, I'm sorry, but it's going to have some flaws. And no Stephen King has been perfect, except Gerald's Game. That's been perfect. So I really wish they came out in theaters. But to me, Gerald's Game is the most perfect Stephen King adaptation in a long time. And recent in the, 2010s, this decade, at least. And then, there's been a whole bunch of sequels, remakes, and adaptations that people are starting to put care in. The directors and writers are starting to care about, and it shows in their art. And I think we're getting good quality. So I have more faith in A Quiet Place 2 than the average Joe who goes see movies have in any horror film sequel ever. So I'm excited. Did you guys see the teaser, the real 20-second teaser? What do you think? Comment below. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about Quiet Place 1. Did you love that? Do you think it was better than Bird Box like myself? I think it was way better. Let's talk about it in the comments. And I will check you guys out later.